Hey guys, Brennan here. Today I thought I'd talk about the advancement in the CDMO division of BioHarvest Sciences, which this is huge. They completed their first ever CDMO contract and jumped straight from stage 2 to completion and bypassing stage 3. So they just passed the second stage in May, and they acquired 1.2 million from this unknown UAE investment group. And so with the completion of the contract, that must mean that they've gotten the full $2.5 to $3 million in order to mass produce this fragrance molecule compound material and bring it to market in the coming months to year. Now, not a lot is known about this investment group or even just the material itself, but I have a pretty good idea because, well, the CEO didn't really hide it. Or at least I think he didn't really hide what material it is. He presented at the 46th annual Canaccord Genuity conference on August 12th, 2026. And at that conference, he mentioned that it's from a tree, and it is a material that can go for tens of thousands of dollars with a addressable market of 50 billion or up to 50 billion. And I believe that material is referred to as agar wood. And so agar wood really is one of the perfect materials for BioHarvest to produce, because what makes agar wood so expensive and so valuable is because of how rare it is, due to the wood itself being infected with a fungal infection. And with that infection, the tree tries to respond and fight back, and it produces a resin to fight the disease, the infection. And so it's not like this is a common occurrence in nature. It just happens whenever the tree is injured and then just gets infected. And so it's led to a huge habitat loss for this species of tree, just because of deforestation, overharvesting, and climate change. The whole works. In fact, it's quite rare to find this tree in the wild. And if you do, it can even go for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the cultivated trees, they go for thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars per kilogram, may I add. So what makes this wood valuable is the resin as it piles up within the wood. And that's over years of infections and producing resin within the inner heartwood. And so the more resin there is inside this wood, the more valuable it is, as it's usually burned. And that produces the fragrance, the scent. And so with BioHarvest technology, where they're able to just grow the cells and not the entire plant, they are then most likely able to trick those cells to produce a ton of resin within the cells, as they act like mini factories for the resin. And they're probably able to produce more than what's found naturally in nature, as what they've proven with their product Vinia in the past. Like Vinia, for example, is able to, sorry, mosquitoes everywhere, God, they're bad. So with Vinia, they're able to manipulate the grape cells to produce 100 times what's found in nature, 100 times more than what's found in nature. And something tells me they're likely to do the same for agar wood. And while the higher grades of agar wood go for a whole lot more money. And the higher grades are Kainam or Kaira. Sorry, you'll have to excuse my pronunciation. I'm all learning this on the go right now. So I haven't really heard the pronunciation. But anyways, so in 2024, BioHarvest Sciences acquired a 50-ton new facility in Israel, along with consolidating their corporate offices and R&D facility as well into this one building, this campus. And so it's my understanding that it's still being built out. And so 20 tons of this manufacturing capacity of this fragrance compound is likely to be dedicated within that building. And that's likely why this deal was signed so quickly, so that way they could guarantee a spot within the new facility. As BioHarvest has multiple contracts on the go right now, I believe there is 4 that are currently active. And so this compound, this material, this probably agar wood, was something that this UAE company couldn't pass up, and they will be bringing to market sometime in early 2027, and maybe onwards, maybe in the second half. As it's not like stage 2 was completely skipped, they're still working through stage 2 and will eventually go to stage 3. They just wanted to guarantee their spot. BioHarvest Sciences still has their 20 plus ton facility. It's a joint facility with Sugart, Israel. And so as far as I know, they signed a contract together where it was Sugart's first right of refusal that if BioHarvest Sciences wanted to upgrade from 20 tons to 60 tons, Sugart could say no to that, but it's an option for them. And I could see that happening if there's more news with these sweetener molecules that are currently still in progress at the CDMO division at BioHarvest Sciences. Now, their product Vinia is a over $50 million product. I'm sure it's closer to 100 million now. This was announced last year in February. But, you know, the potential of return isn't as great with Vinia as opposed to, say, this fragrance molecule and say these other CDMO contracts when they eventually get further developed and possibly completed. And so by entering this royalty-based model where BioHarvest retains a certain percentage of ownership rights to these molecules, like say with the fragrance molecule, they retain 20% ownership rights, and then with the sweetener molecules, it's 50%. The CDMO division shows a whole lot more potential, I believe, than the D2C business model. And the company sure seems to believe this as well, as they will be dedicating and reallocating their resources, capital, materials, etc. to the CDMO and prioritizing that over the D2C. And then the bigger the company gets, we will still see the expansion of the D2C business, but it won't be nearly as prominent as the CDMO, which is great. Because the great thing about BioHarvest Sciences, their elicitation techniques, their ability to produce rare compounds, materials in these bioreactors, is it will then bring these rare materials and these life-changing nutraceuticals and compounds and pharmaceuticals. It'll be able to bring them to market and provide a lot of wealth for not just shareholders, but also for stakeholders in the future. As with the BioHarvest technology, it's patentable. So with nature, you can't patent it, but with this technology, you can, because of the consistency of the manufacturing of these materials. And because it's patentable, it then incentivizes more corporations to reach out to BioHarvest Sciences, sign up a contract with them, develop these molecules, these materials, and further expand the business, further grow it, further grow the manufacturing, and then it just keeps growing, growing, and growing. And then really, I think it will do a whole lot of difference for the world going forward. At one point, you know, black pepper used to be a sign of royalty, a sign of wealth. And now it's on every dinner table at any house around the world. And so I believe we'll probably see that with a lot of materials produced by BioHarvest Sciences, or even companies that use similar technologies to BioHarvest Sciences. And so it's exciting. It's exciting to see where this company goes, this technology platform goes. It's small right now, but you know, the former CEO, Ilan Sobel, well, I believe he's still CEO, but he's co-CEO now. he mentioned that he'd like to bring these bioreactors to swimming pool sizes. And you know, I think they'll get there eventually. They just need the capital, they need the manufacturing space, and they need these molecules developed at a large scale in order to get to that point. And you know, like, ethical investing, it usually is ineffective form of investing, because the cheaper and more environmentally damaging technologies tend to beat out the more costly, eco-friendly technologies. And I think with BioHarvest Sciences, it will be an exception to that rule, especially when you look at the tree that agar wood is farmed from. Like, that entire genus species, it's on the verge of being wiped out. It's threatened right now, and you know, with the high prices of agar wood, it'll probably get to the point of extinction at some point further down the line. The more demand that there is for agar wood. And with this technology, it doesn't stop at agar wood. It will continue on with these expensive and rare plants, and they'll also be able to produce these healthier options. Like, I'm really looking forward to the sweetener molecules, as I'd like to eventually cut out sugar from my diet, because sugar is deadly. And when you see what it does to people, it's nice to look for healthier alternatives. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, obviously like it. Comment down below what you think of BioHarvest biofarming technology. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.